Hey, John. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to respond to this prompt. So, I want to talk about a time where I was just out of university working at one of my first real positions. It was at BRP, Bombardier Recreational Products. And so, there, what had happened was I was on a meeting with our CIO and a couple of assistant VPs and about a couple of other managers in person. And I had dressed up with nice blue jeans and a regular shirt, and I didn't think much about it. And so the meeting had gone well, our presentation had gone well, but after the meeting, my manager had pulled me to the side and kind of gave me some feedback and told me that I was talking too casually and I was definitely dressed too casually, and that I should make sure that moving forward, I don't let this happen again because it's a bad look and it's a bad reflection of our work in front of our directors and our CIOs and things like that. And so after hearing this, I really wanted to understand what specifically I was kind of missing in terms of my behavior, in terms of my dress, because at the time I didn't really know where I'd gone wrong. And so I had reached out to my manager and I asked him to sit down with me and kind of explain to me where I went wrong and things like that. And what I realized without even knowing is that in the meeting, I was oftentimes using informal language, such as I was saying things like, I'm gonna do that instead of I'm going to do that. Or use things such as saying, hey, how's it going? Using very informal language with people who I should be very formal with. Additionally, my manager also told us that when it came to corporate meetings and meetings with directors and things like that, that we were expected to wear dress pant and dress shirt, which I didn't really know about. And so I explained to my manager that I didn't know about this, and I was really grateful for her time and that she was able to help me really fix these problems that I had. And so fast forward almost a month or so to our next quarterly, not a month or so, sorry, fast forward about 3 months or so to our next quarterly meeting where I was meeting with the same CIO, assistant VPs, and things like that. I made sure to remember to dress up, wearing dress pants and dress shirt. And when it came to our presentation, I had to consistently remind myself to be cognizant of the language I'm using. And so the meeting had gone and our presentation was went great. And what had actually happened is that same CIO who we met with last quarter had actually complimented my speaking and my performance in front of everyone and talked about how the presentation had gone really well and they felt really engaged and they really appreciated the time I put into making it. And I believe that a large part of that, although the content may have been better than the last one, I believe that a large part of that feedback that I got was really how I presented myself by reminding myself to dress appropriately, by reminding myself to speak and be conscious of the way I'm speaking. It really helped me present significantly better. And so fundamentally, I believe that moving forward in my career as a dentist, thinking about professionalism is very key. As a dentist, we're someone who our patients rely on and expect to be the utmost when it comes to professionalism. And so, this kind of experience working in a Fortune 500 company, working in the corporate environment, it really taught me a lot about how to enforce professionalism, whether it be the simple things such as being on time or shaking people, greeting people with a handshake, and other things like that. It's a very easy way to show and build trust. And I found that the more professional I became and the more well dressed I was and the better uh, language I used, I found that it was easier for me to build trust, whether it be at the office. And this is also something I saw in the clinic as well. When I would go out and shadow different dentists, I would see how the dentists carried themselves, how they interacted with patients. And many of those same qualities came through. I never saw a dentist there use informal language. When they spoke very clearly and very fluently, and they spoke in a way that demanded the respect of others and it allowed them to build trust. And so, moving forward in my career, I plan on bringing a lot of these previous experiences that I had from corporate environments, from healthcare environments, from the lab, or anything like that, to build the portfolio and show myself off as a dentist that my patients expect, but also that my patients deserve. And so this experience really taught me how to take feedback like that, internalize it, and understand where I might be missing and build myself up from there to ensure that it does not happen again in the future. Thank you very much, and I'd love to answer any prompting questions.